No, I'm really not the complaining type, but the things I do for you, things I do for love. To start with, tell everybody, come and have a look at these videos on substack.com, Graham Hunter, substack.com, Revista de la Liga. Hello to Daryl Geraghty, long-time friend of the Big Interview podcast and on Twitter. Brought a really good question about Trent Alexander-Arnold and Real Madrid and Dani Carvajal. Coming back to that tomorrow. For the moment, unless you specifically petition me to do this, it isn't really my impression to do big match previews all the time. It's early morning on Wednesday here in Spain, and tonight in Saudi Arabia, again, sadly, the first semi-final of the Spanish Supercopa is played. Talked to you at length about Athletic Club and what they're doing right, and now why not have a look at Football Club Barcelona, and why not have a little look at their background. Again, usually it's more interesting talking about football and skill and thrill and backstories, but Barcelona's institutional situation needs to be brought into context here, I think. Right now there are very strong mutterings of the socios, influential men and women who are like shareholders, bringing a motion of no confidence against Joan Laporta. He survived one of those in 2008. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't this time. Probably he merits it. They still, although they've taken Dani Olmo and Pau Victor out to Saudi Arabia, they're still unable to register them as footballers for the remainder of the season. The legal row goes on and will go on, but at the moment, another failure. You know that 1.2 million euros in debt globally. You also probably know that they're playing at Montjuic because they're renovating, and it's a spectacular project, the Camp Nou. Building projects, what do we know about them? They cost a lot, and they're always, without exception, behind schedule. Barcelona were absolutely sure that by this stage of the season, they'd be back at Camp Nou. Semi-built Camp Nou, but back. Not happening. They're behind schedule. At the moment, neither the ground nor the pitch, nothing is anywhere near ready. The context against which this semi-final against Athletic Club has been played is that Barcelona have won once in their last 7 La Liga matches. The majority of them have been defeats. Coming up in this crazy month of January for them, 2 more Champions League matches. Currently, it's beautiful. It's nirvana in the Champions League for Barcelona. For once, they're sitting second in the charts behind Liverpool, in with a bullet, pot pickers. But they've got 2 more games remaining, and one is in Lisbon against Benfica. The other is at home on Montjuic in the Olympic Stadium against Atalanta. Given Barcelona's record in the Champions League, you want to say away win, home win, or away draw, home win? That's fine with me. But if they play anything like they've played against Real Sociedad or Osasuna or Las Palmas or Leganés, for heaven's sake, or Atleti in the second half, they could lose both of them. If they lose both of them, then they might drop out of that top 8, and it might mean that they have to play in a knockout match in February, not go straight to the last 16 in March. What does that imply? UEFA divide the Champions League season and the Europa League season into the league stage and then the knockouts. In each of those stages, you have to nominate what your stadium is. Because at the beginning of the season, Barcelona were 100% confident, where have you heard that before, Dani Olmo, Pau Victor, that they'd be back in the Camp Nou, they didn't book out Montjuic Stadium from now in January all the way through to May, and that means that other events are scheduled there. So if Barcelona, for example, had to play a knockout match in February, right now they would have to nominate either Montjuic and then be unable to play in Montjuic all the way through as the rounds went on if they qualified, or nominate immediately playing in another stadium, another club stadium. Where? Mestalla? The Metropolitano in Madrid? Florentino Perez. What about Joan Laporta giving Florentino? You don't see it? No, nor do I. Logistically, but also, you know. Girona? Girona Stadium's too small for them in the Champions League. Ultimately, would that mean that there's a prospect of Barcelona having to play some of their Champions League matches, all of them potentially, in Espanyol's stadium across the city, feeding that club lots and lots of rental money that they very desperately need. What I'm saying is it's a mess. To steal from the Pedro Almodovar film, Woman on the Edge of a Nervous Breakdown, it's a club on the edge of a nervous breakdown. In La Liga, they've been embarrassing in the last 7 games, easily thwarted, all their confidence and competence hemorrhaging away. Simply unable to win unless Lamine Yamal, this genius 17-year-old, is in the starting lineup and fit and motivated. It's not some sort of mystic thing. Unless he's in the 11, they can't win. It's without him in the starting lineup, fully fit, fully on form, they lose or draw. Why? He is a genius, in my view. Budding genius, still with lots to prove, lots of evolution to come in his personal sense and his footballing sense, yes. But as we close 2024, he'd scored or made 39 goals at 17 and a half years old. A stage at which Cristiano Ronaldo had still to debut for Sporting Lisbon at all, and a stage at which, while Messi had played in the Cup and played in the Champions League and lost to Shakhtar Donetsk with Barcelona, he hadn't made a La Liga debut start, nor had he scored or given a goal assist for that team. Lamine is champion of Europe with Spain. He was in the team of the tournament. He scored the goal of the tournament. 39 goal contributions between 16 and 17-year-olds last calendar year. Without him, they seem Scoobied. But without the energy, without the pressing to enforce the benefits of the high line, teams have begun to pick them off. Which means that with Athletic Club breathing down their neck in La Liga, 1 point behind in 4th to Barcelona's 3rd, with the prospect of the cup draw, which is at lunchtime today, Wednesday. I love being up this early. Lunchtime today, Wednesday, which could pair Barcelona with Athletic Club again. 2 of those big games in the space of a week, which could pair Barcelona with Madrid in a Clásico, a one-off Clásico, either at the Bernabeu or Montjuic, depending on the luck of the draw. If Barcelona were to go through tonight and then meet Madrid in the final on Sunday, it would mean 2 Clásicos in the space of 3 or 4 days. Extraordinary. The Supercup, I bet you don't rate it too highly. On every footballer and every coach's list of priorities, in trophy terms, it's at the bottom. Barcelona, having taken in 1.7 billion from Nike recently, hasn't reached their accounts, but it's agreed. Having taken in about 50 million euros already from the Champions League, hasn't reached their accounts, but they've earned it. The 6 million they get for being in the Saudi Arabian Super Cup and the 1 million they'd get from reaching Sunday's final, and the 2 further millions they'd get for winning it. Important, yes, no longer vital. Winning is. Winning with credibility, winning with confidence and competence. I go back to those 2 words because they've been lacking. Should they be able to beat Athletic and then either Mallorca or Madrid, I take it it'll be Madrid. Should they be able to do that, it would probably give them more of a boost in adrenaline, self-confidence and prestige at a time when Rafinha in yesterday's press conference said, if I was watching from afar and seeing what's happened with Dani Olmo and Pau Victor, I'd think twice about joining the club. At a time like that, what price, never mind what economic value, what price could you put on a win? They have to beat Athletic Club tonight, and there's absolutely no guarantee of doing that. But for Barcelona, doing it has become vital.